Hello and welcome to NPS Now, your source for news and information about Norfolk Public Schools. I'm your host, Karen Tanner, and with me today is Dr. Karren Bailey. She is the Chief Accountability and Information Officer. Welcome to NPS Now.
Thank you.
And we have you on the show today to talk about our recent accreditation status and updates on that. So we're glad that you're here with us on today. Last week, the Virginia Department of Education, they released their accreditation findings. How did we do as a district?
Well, personally, I think the district did great. We've shown a lot of progress, moving in a positive direction and starting to generate some momentum. Back in 2013-14, we had about 29% of our schools fully accredited. Now we're at 61%. So that's significant within a short period of time. And so a lot of things, though, have had an impact on that. Certainly changes in our administration over the years. Changes in VDOE's standards of learning, changes in the test format to computer adaptive testing, as well as our ability to increase additional technology devices for our students to use for testing.
What do you believe stuck out in your mind with the results from these findings?
Well, when I looked at the numbers, because I look at a lot of numbers, we've shown quite a bit of progress in English reading. And I know that our focus for the district has been on leadership, literacy, and rigor. And a lot of our schools showed improvement. Certainly in 2015-16, we showed a little bit of progress, but a lot more schools this past school year showed progress in reading. And so I think that the emphasis on English in our literacy plan.
Why do you think we saw an increase in the English results?
Well, with our literacy plan, we developed that with partnership with William and Maury, and we conducted a literacy audit capturing feedback from our teachers to help develop that literacy plan. And from that, several things stuck out, such as 14.2 minutes a day for a student to read, to have a significant impact on their overall progress. Also, to targeted professional development with respect to guided reading and literacy blocks within the instructional day. Also, our work with focus schools, developing leadership teams at each of our schools and meeting on a monthly basis. So I think, generating that conversation about the work and how making plans for improvement.
What are some other things that you think we're doing to better engage our students?
Well, we are trying to provide more technology, specifically at the high school, in the form of tablets for our students so that it could help them instructionally, whether in school or after school. Also, the expansion of the use of Google Classroom and our teachers using that, since most of our students tend to use their electronic devices. And also, personalized learning is starting to become a little bit more popular in our schools. We have a lot of new things going this year, so we're very excited to see these things materialize.
So do you think the use of technology has really assisted us with our results?
Well, I think that it's a different way to engage students versus the paper pencil. Certainly they may see the question differently. They're more familiar with the computers and the use of them. And so creating that level of environment then could help them to focus more on reading the question and answering it correctly.
Right. So what grade levels do we begin using the technology?
Well, we're starting to use the technology or infuse it all the way down to the kindergarten level. We were fortunate to receive 2 Department of Defense grants. We have 8 grant schools that are part of one of the grants, and it's called Breaking the Code of College and Career Readiness. And so we're able to infuse coding at the elementary level across content.
Right. So while the number of our accredited schools is rising, and then also the number of schools that were denied has decreased, we still have 6 schools currently in a to be determined status. Share with us some information about that.
Well, simply speaking, to be determined, we have appealed the status of those schools, which is an allowable method that VDOE has created, which could grant a school partially accredited, reconstituted. And what that means is that based on a criteria, if they have met that criteria, such as proven record of a new administration, turnover, or not turnover, but a change in the teacher structure, a change in the number of students attending, such as boundary changing, could qualify a school to apply for that. Then VDOE reviews the information, certainly the numerical information, along with the narrative about the why we are requesting the change. And then we're hoping for all positive approvals for all 6 schools.
We have assessments, and why are they important?
Well, in general, assessments are a way to review, evaluate one's ability, and so forth. But in education, we use it as a tool to evaluate, measure, and document certainly students' readiness, their skill set, their ability to respond to the educational process, as well as just learning progression over time.
So what grade levels do we normally start assessing our students?
Well, assessment is really built into the written, taught, and assessed curriculum. So you try to assess your younger students without them really realizing it, really in the form of maybe a game or something like that. We're also assessing kids in 1st and 2nd grade really on a one-on-one basis. We're exposing our 2nd graders to taking tests online similar to the SOLs to provide pre-exposure to that type of format, so that that's not a barrier or drawback when they get to 3rd grade, because they'll be taking assessments throughout their career in education. And I think that we're trying to do a little bit more with that. Certainly we have to blend it with the instruction that is conducted within the classroom.
Right. Do you believe we're assessing them more or less?
Well, we are assessing them less compared to several years ago. We had over 200 assessments starting from pre-K to 12, and so that's not just one grade level. However, various grade levels, but we did monthly assessments, certainly for grades 3 through 8 and some of our end-of-course subjects, which was a lot of testing. So now we're probably about 160, 170. And so one of the reasons why we did that is to eliminate distractions that may occur within a school building, and helping schools and teachers to focus on really using assessments to drive instruction. We have formative and summative assessments, but that might be for another topic.
Exactly, and some parents at home are saying, well, great, I'm glad you are assessing my students, so we'll keep them updated and know what they need throughout the school year. So thank you for coming on the show today to talk about our accreditation status and assessments and all the information that you shared so far. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we want you to stay tuned for more NPS Now.
Welcome back to NPS Now. I'm Steve Sutmiller, Senior Coordinator of Athletics. Today in the studio we have 2 special guests. We're going to talk about volleyball. And we have the head coach from Maury High School, Jeff Pye. Welcome.
Thank you.
And he's brought a player, Andrew Lyons. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
All right, guys, let's get right into it. First of all, let's find out who Jeff Pye is. Talk a little bit about yourself, Coach.
Sure. So it's my 4th season at Maury High School. I've been playing and coaching since about 1996. High school, college, and have been coaching club ball as well as now at Maury High School level for 4 years. So I think all in all, this is either my 21st or 22nd season involved with volleyball, and just looking forward to continuing to build what Maury High School has kind of turned into.
All right, and from my impressions, you've done a very nice job. So continued success with that.
Thanks.
Andrew, let's talk a little bit about yourself and just how'd you get involved in volleyball and how long have you been playing?
I started in the 6th grade playing at Blair, won 3 city championships, and then my 8th grade year I decided to start playing club volleyball and really just fell in love with the game. And after that it was history, just playing club throughout high school, playing high school, just working hard, trying to get better.
Okay, so Coach, you've been at Maury for a few years now. You've had some impressive runs. So talk a little bit about some of the history that you've established for Maury High School volleyball.
Sure. So when I started at Maury, really just wanted to try to bring high-level training into the program and into Norfolk Public Schools in general. You know, Norfolk Public Schools has middle school boys volleyball. Nowhere else in this area even has that, including the beach. So it was all about training as a top team. We had some good success that first year, but really took off in the second year. Back in, what was that, 2014, I think, when we made it to the state semifinals for the first time. So it's all about training hard, and the boys bought into it. And you know, it's really a testament to them and how hard they've worked. And yeah, we've had a good run. So I think it was the state semifinals in the second year, and lost to a great deep run program that has multiple state championships. Came back the following year, did the same thing, keep working hard, training against those teams, and made it to the state finals that year. Lost to Princess Anne, who I think was that was their third straight state championship. So that's, you know, a program that we try to compete with. And then I know last year again, same thing. It's worked hard, back to the state semifinals, lost another close one in the fifth game, and we hope to fight for the same thing again this year.
So Andrew, you know, you've been part of all of this. So how's that feel to be part of something that's at the top?
You know, it's been a really good ride. I mean, every year, just seeing the team progress, seeing all the guys that have gone through the program, working hard every day in practice with Jeff coaching, and just seeing everybody really work hard. A lot of guys that come out, they've never played volleyball before, and they come out and they're kind of amazed by how much fun the game can actually be at this level. And it's just been a really fun time just competing at a high level.
So talk about, I mean, you're a senior now. You are the leader.
Yeah.
So what kind of responsibilities does that take on, not just being a good player, but leading everybody around you?
Yeah, I think it starts with just having a really positive attitude. You just got to lead the team. You can't get frustrated. Got to make sure a lot of guys get down on themselves. You just got to pick them right back up, and you got to tell them next play, next point, just really getting them going. And volleyball is all about momentum, so you just got to get them really fired up, and that's what it's all about, just kind of getting the guys going. I mean, as much as it's about me, it's about them. It's about the whole team, and it's not about one player. All
right, very good. Coach, talk a little bit about Andrew. What's impressive? What's so impressive about him?
The great thing about Andrew, I mean, from day one he walked in and was a starter on the team, and he's been starting all 4 years now. So he's willing to put in the work. He's played a couple different positions over the course of the 4 years at Maury, and even in club he plays a third position. So he's versatile. He's gotten a lot taller over the years. Has tons of great experience, and like you said, it's positive. You know, we go as far as he leads us. You know, Andrew's going to get his stat line, but you know, we really need to spread that across the team to excel and to really reach the goals that I think we want to make. So he puts in the work, and once, you know, the team sees their leader putting in the work, they follow right behind him.
So that's part of good leadership. Yeah. So, you know, I let him talk about you. So tell us about playing for Coach here. What's impressive about that?
He just brings all the experience. We've had past coaches that haven't really brought as much fire, as much energy that Jeff brings. He brings a lot of, I want to say, sort of charisma. He really gets us fired up. He's on the bench. I mean, he's rough on us, but it's tough love. It's just
sounds like good coaching.
Yeah, I mean, it's just good coaching, and it's hard to find a good volleyball coach in Norfolk these days, and I'm ecstatic that he came back this year. I mean, it's great.
All right, very good. All right, Coach, let's talk about the team and the season. What can we expect moving forward with the Commodores?
Sure. So we scheduled a tough season outside of our normal district schedule this year. So, you know, we scheduled a tough match. We played PA last night, which is always a tough match, a great competition. We've played in 2 different tournaments this year. Went up to Richmond and played in what's arguably the best tournament in the state, which had the top 10 teams from Richmond, top 3 teams from Tidewater, so the best of the best. Had a great showing, great experience there. We have other top talent lined up later in the season. And really we're just trying to build towards the postseason, figure out the puzzle pieces that, trying to put together the 6 or 7 guys in the rotation that we see and what works best, and work on our flaws, and see what other teams expose against us, and then try to fight right back and fill that hole.
Yeah, so I mean, this year's a little different in terms of scheduling. In the past, I mean, when we had the conference scheduling, that was a fairly competitive regular season schedule.
Yep.
So what kind of challenges does the schedule this year present for the Commodores?
Well, the district schedule isn't as tough as the conference from years past, but we supplement that with playing, Princess Anne, number 3 ranked team in the area, Cox, number 2 ranked team in the area, Cape Henry, number 5. So we're, 3 top beach programs. We go and we play in these tournaments. So we have a tournament this coming weekend where you have one of the top 2 teams from Richmond who's going to be there, and as well as the top teams from down here. So try to supplement with that, all while trying to take care of your district, because those are still very important wins that we need to get along the way to qualify for the postseason and build up and have what we hope to be a top seed and be well prepared once we start playing in November. Yeah.
All right. Andrew, all right, you guys are ranked number 1 as a team. What kind of pressure does that have going out every day?
I don't really think about it that much. I just try and take everything day by day, one practice at a time, one set at a time, one point at a time, because as much as everybody wants to talk about the rankings, it doesn't matter. It's all about, to me, it's all about winning. You got to win the match, you got to win the set. And I love being ranked number 1, but at the end of the day, it's not the most important thing.
All right. Well, I mean, you guys are definitely a good combo. Just watching, I know you guys feed off of each other, and you've done a great job in terms of leading the Commodores up to that top level, where we like to see teams in the city. So we appreciate all that effort, appreciate all the effort that you're putting out there on the court. All right, so thanks for coming in.
Yeah, thank you.
Right. More NPS Now after this.
Welcome back to NPS Now. With us today is Georgeanna Fellio. She is the Senior Coordinator for Art here in Norfolk Public Schools. Welcome to NPS Now.
Thank you for having me.
Glad to have you again. We like to have you on every year to talk about just the great things that are going on in art education. So kind of share with us right now what type of different activities are planned for the different age ranges for our students.
Well, right now students are just learning foundational skills like principles and elements of design that they can use to work in other mediums and art throughout the year. Something that we have planned coming up pretty soon for secondary is going to be Portfolio Day, which is the National Portfolio Day that takes place at the Corcoran in Washington, D.C., where students are able to get their portfolios together and they take them and allow other colleges and universities to view their portfolio, and that kind of helps them decide what their future goals might be and where they might want to go to school. So that's one thing that we have coming up. We have a new partnership with Old Dominion University, allowing high school students to go and tour the new art department over there and the gallery space at the Baron Ellen Gordon Gallery. So those are 2 things that we have for secondary, and then we're kind of hoping to continue our partnership with the Hermitage for the 2nd grade tour, Chrysler Museum for our 4th grade tour, and then we have our 2nd semester shows. So,
wow, sounds like a lot, but I'm sure there's some other exciting activities coming
Absolutely.
up.
So. Let's see, we will be hopefully displaying artwork at MacArthur Mall over the holiday season.
Oh, good.
And so we have a new partnership with them as well.
So you recently held a ribbon cutting at MacArthur. Tell us about that.
So there is the brand new Live 360 Gallery, and we are super excited about it. We are going to be displaying K through 12 artwork on a monthly rotation. So 4 schools a month will be displaying artwork, and we also installed some new cases there as well for 3-dimensional artwork. And we're very excited about that that new space. From what I understand, there will be dance classes, yoga classes, and some other things in the rear of the gallery because there's a studio space.
So where is it located in MacArthur Mall? Folks want to come and check it out.
Yeah, it is right in front of Dillard's So if you enter through the south deck, it's right in front of Dillard's.
So it's got to take time and effort to do something like this. What type of time and effort is it going to take to get this art gallery, this 360 art gallery going?
Well, we kind of relied on MacArthur Mall to do a lot of the logistics as far as setting up the space, but then we came in, we measured the space that we were allowed it. We ordered hanging devices for the student artwork. We kind of decided how many pieces we planned to display. So we decided that it would be between 25 and 30 pieces that would be changed out every month, and then made sure that we had the carpenters come from NPS. So they installed it.
And when will this begin?
Actually, it's already up right now.
Awesome.
It was up for the ribbon cutting, which is on September 8th. And we will be installing a new month, September 15th.
So what are some exciting new programs coming up this new school year?
Well, the MacArthur program, so the
that's
monthly
one of the main
rotation,
ones.
so that's something new. The partnership, as I discussed before, with Old Dominion University, that's also something new where the kids are able to go to campus and check that out, see if they want to go there for art. We're also working with Young Audience of Virginia. And we have done capture dance in the past with them, where students were able to go to Todd Rosenlee's studio. They watched studio rehearsals of dancers, and then they were able to go back, reflect on that, and capture movement in their artwork. Now we're doing something a little bit different. We think that we're going to go a route where we have an instrumentalist and a dancer. And so the instrumentalist and the dancer will go into the schools. The instrumentalist will play. The dancer will then make movement, and the students get to watch that, and then they can incorporate the movement that they see in both music and in dance, and then incorporate it into their artwork.
Now that's exciting.
It
That's
is.
what I
It's
wanted to
very
get
exciting.
to. What grade level? Is this elementary, secondary that participates in this dance program?
This is secondary, and it's normally 11th and 12th grade advanced art students. Only 28 can be selected from each school to participate.
Wow. So to prepare for this art gallery, did we do any artwork over the summer, or what do you do over the summer to get prepared with art?
Well, basically, the summer is when we are able to have a little downtime to create these partnerships. So we have our ongoing shows that we know that we're going to do, but selecting dates, making sure that we have the location, the panels, and all the other installation pieces for the artwork is one thing that we do. But then if we know that we're going to work on new partnerships with other people in the community, then that's kind of the time where we set up dates, figure out how we're going to structure these shows, and write proposals. Make sure that we get grants and funding for that.
So what are you looking most forward to this school year?
Well, of course, new artwork. So I always look forward to getting into the classroom, seeing what the kids are doing. Having new teachers in my department is always very exciting. Going into the classroom to see them teach, probably for the first time, and offer them instructional support and building those relationships is always very exciting. And just new partnerships.
Well, I have to tell you, my daughter, she loves art. She's at Richard Bowling. She's been doing a great job over the years. I've been checking her artwork. So other parents like myself, how can we get our children interested in art?
Well, one thing that we're focusing on in the classrooms right now is visual literacy. And I think that that's something that you can bring home. When your child's sitting at the kitchen table coloring and drawing, you can grab a piece of paper and sit down and color too. And visual literacy is more about making inferences from the images you're seeing, using symbols and stuff to read from. A very early example of this would be Egyptian hieroglyphics. They use symbols and shapes in order to create a language. And so that's what especially elementary students are doing when they're drawing on a piece of paper. They want you to understand what they're doing, and just having that one-on-one conversation with your child at home at the kitchen table kind of brings visual literacy into your household, and that's one thing that I would focus on.
Thank you. I'll encourage her, and I hope the parents at home encourage their children too. Well, you've got a lot of great things happening. I'm glad you emphasized all the great things that are going on in art education, and even with the dance component. So I think we've got some interested folks who are going to go over to MacArthur to check it out. So thank you for coming on the show today.
Thank you.
And we want to thank you for watching NPS Now. It airs weekly on WNPS Channel 47, or you can view us online at www.npsk12.com. If you have any great story ideas or information you'd like to share, email us at nps_news@npsk12.com. Again, we want to thank you for watching NPS Now.